Yes, now Famalamo, welcome back to another video on Jazz TV. Today I'm going to talk about overtraining and the effects of overtraining, the science of how for overtraining, and also how to cut back on overtraining if you feel like you're coming on. Everyone's got individual feelings that come around when you feel like you are overtraining, not just feelings, thoughts, and excitement for life just diminishes a little bit, and your excitement, what you normally have for training, or if you don't have excitement for training, you just feel a little bit worse. And I'll go into these things and we'll go through it on what it's like, what I've learned as a professional boxer over 20 years of boxing altogether, of what overtraining actually feels like. So first of all, what does it actually feel like? What are you feeling when you're overtraining? When you're feeling good, well, it normally comes to me after feeling good. You're feeling good in camp, you're flying, you're smashing it, and things start to happen. Maybe one morning you wake up, I get a certain feeling, I smell. When I sniff up, I get that feeling like you've got the flu, you can smell the flu. Now I smell overtraining, that's how I see it. Maybe a little bit run down, that's how I feel. First of all, this is if you haven't got the heart. I wear this heart rate monitor to monitor my sleep. So first of all, I get all my data, I collect my data. I've slept well, I've ate right, I haven't trained that hard, but why am I feeling like this? So I get my data first, and then I make a decision on it. If I'm not smashing all these things and I'm not performing to the highest of my ability, and then I feel like I'm sick, I'm probably just sick, you know. Or like if someone around the house is sick, then I'm sick. But yeah, I get on my data first before I see what I'm feeling. Sometimes it can happen for 1 or 2 days when you're having no sleep, and maybe a lot of the time I just say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. If I want to rest, I'll rest tomorrow. Sometimes it goes against me, but sometimes it goes well, because I say I'll rest tomorrow, do my work today, tomorrow feel great. I didn't lose a day yesterday, and that's how it works sometimes. So how are you going to feel? First of all, overtraining and under resting can be very, very similar. So once you get your rest back, as I was going on a little bit there, once you get your rest back, you can feel less overtrained, and under-rested are very similar. And one for me, sometimes I get on the scales, and you shouldn't judge your camp by the scales, you shouldn't judge your progress by the scales. A lot of fighters do it, I've been guilty of it in the past as well. I just fuck the scales off nowadays, and I get on the scales for one reason only, to check that my weight's going the right way. It's pointless checking every single minute of every single day. Check every 3 or 4 days, or once a week, and you'll see where you're going, you know what I mean? You'll see it in the mirror, first of all. So, yeah, the things that don't make sense, your weight. Sometimes I feel like I hold a bit of weight. I hold on to a bit of weight because of stress. When I get a little bit sick, I feel like I hold on to it. So if I do feel sick and I do have a rest, I hold back for a day or two. I don't look at the scales, because your leg can go. You're not saying, and obviously you're going to gain a little bit of water weight back in you, a bit of glycogen, and then your leg can go. So if I am having a rest, I'll stay away from the scales. That's one to do. Don't let the scales get involved, because you can burn your heads out. Next minute, you know, you're training just to eat rather than eating to train. And I know that's not quite overtraining, but these little things do play a factor, so look out for that one. Recovery, like I said, when I look at my app, Whoop, I use a Whoop band, and I also use an iWatch. I wear them too. Doesn't make sense. A lot of people say why you wear them both, but they're different things. One's for the sleep, one's for the activity. One's better. One tracks the calories in, calories out of the diet, and one more for the sleep and rest. And the recovery on the Whoop, it's brilliant, and that's what I'll check. I'll check if am I recovering. So only 3 or 4 days ago, I got here on a plane, didn't sleep, overnight flight it was, I had a bad sleep, and it's took me 3 or 4 days. My HRV is not going up. I'm sleeping good again, but it's just taking me too long to get back. So I'm seeing it, you know what I mean? It's not because I'm overtrained, I understand it's because I had a bad sleep. So sometimes when you're going through camp, you are sleeping great, but you're just overworking, you're overtraining, you fit too soon, your body needs to adapt, but you're training too hard, you're not giving the body time to adapt, and that can be the case sometimes. Some coaches think it's just all about work, but but it's not. It's all about working at the right time and working for purpose. You know, you hear some coaches always shout, "Work, come on, more," but what's more going to give you when it's diminishing gains? You know, it's pointless, isn't it? Pointless even going to the gym when it's diminishing gains. You're already fit. Pointless keep going. So rest has a big, massive, important part in boxing. And one more, and how you normally feel is normally I'll bounce out of bed with a smile on my face. Yes, excited going to the gym. Now everyone doesn't feel like this. You get your own base level on how you feel, and then go from there. But me, I bounce out of bed with a smile. Yes, going to the gym. And when I'm overtrained, it's not always the case. So I'll just think to myself, oh, come on, let's get through this today. And I know I should never feel like that, so that can be one as well. That's what for me personally. Now, pushing the barriers for overtraining, like I said there before, when I do say that to myself, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll put it off, I'll do it tomorrow. Push through today, we'll get it done tomorrow. I normally try and work through the week, at least get to Thursday or Friday. I want to get to Friday because ideally you get to Friday and you can rest tomorrow, like it's the weekend. I want to get my session done, but say like it's a Monday, how long can you keep on pushing? 3 or 4 days, it's a lot, isn't it? And I wouldn't push I wouldn't do it tomorrow for more than 3 days. I give myself like 3 or 4 days, and then you have to accept, look, it's diminishing gains, you're not getting nothing out of it. The rest is more important than training at this point. Even that might be the sparring. Sometimes you got the end of camp and you've got sparring session, you feel like you need to hit them numbers, your runs, your sparring, but don't fixate too much, you know what I mean? You're going to fight your ass off either way. You're not going to give up on yourself in a fight night because you didn't get the round in sparring. Just go easy on yourself. If you need the rest, you need to train and rest, and it's all for a purpose. So a rest is massively beneficial when you feel like that, because if you don't, there's consequences, you know, and what you start to feel like in the sparring, you get niggles and injuries, and this is how injuries happen towards the end of camp, because you're not that confident. Sometimes your weight can be too high as well. It's a big one. You're under resting because your weight's too high. You're not overtraining, you're just under resting, and you're doing too much strain on the body, and the body can't repair itself in time, and that's how you get little injuries, and that can knock you back even further. So just get that rest in while you can. Make sure you allocate at least 1.5 days of rest a week. Now that's what I give myself. My head goes a bit mad if I only get like a day. If I get too much rest, my head goes a bit mad. So we're trying to do something active, you know, even if it's not 1.5 to 2 days worth of rest, 36 hours a week at one time. Maybe just get some active recovery days in. They're beneficial, you know. You're not whacking yourself, you're not harming yourself, but also you're not going through that mental torture what I go through, fighting the demons, I call it. A few recovery protocols that I use myself, what I've learned works for me over the years. Maybe not scientific, maybe not always right, but a big part of boxing and any sport is mental. So what works for you could be beneficial. Now for me, look, don't overeat today because it's not going to benefit you. Your calories are going to go up, therefore you're going to put a little bit of weight on. But for me to overeat by 1,000 calories, it's only 1/3 of a pound of fat. I can lose that in the next 3 days and also be refreshed for the next week. So for me, sometimes a refeed is better than dieting in that way, you know. And there's many little tricks like this. Little tricks like this is good. So like there's a few things that I use. I'll use yoga. Go to yoga. It's not quite a session, but it's not quite a rest, and you get a sweat on, so you feel like you're doing something. Hot yoga I go to. Go for a long walk. I'd never go for a long walk. Don't walk myself, but go for a long walk. You know, take the dog out. You got a dog. Go somewhere with the kids. That's one that I use myself. Go somewhere with the kids. Maybe a little game of football or something that you can do with the kids. A little bit of activity where you don't have to, obviously, overstrain yourself anymore, but you get a little bit of a mental refreshment there with the kids, switching off, watching a movie, watching something. Maybe give yourself 2 days off. It's the weekend, so you're not going to train for 2 days. Get into a series, and by the time you come back on a Monday, looking forward to it. You know, you've got had a good rest. Family time is always important. Go and see your friends. You haven't seen your friends for a while. Something that not many fighters get to do. Share time with the friends or the family. But yeah, just family time, put the scales off, swear them scales because they're, like I said, they can burn your head out. I don't like getting weighed on a Monday. I get weighed on a Tuesday maybe because you spent the whole the weekend not training. You feel like you're going to gain a little bit of weight. I like to get weighed on a Tuesday. That's the one that I use. And it's important not to lie to your coach, you know what I mean? If you want to rest and you're not feeling like you need a rest, but you just want to rest, don't be a liar, you know what I mean? Don't cheat yourself. Always give it 100% because there comes a day when it's the boy cry wolf and you really do need a rest, and coach knows that you're a cheating little fucker and he's not going to give you the day off, so then it goes against you. So don't be the boy that cried wolf. Always be honest with yourself and give it 100% and be honest with your coach, you know, tell no lies. If you did go over on the diet, you let it a bit too much, just be honest. He's not gonna, you know what I mean? He's not gonna throw you out the gym. He's gonna have sympathy for you because he knows that you wanna do it too. Sometimes we drop the ball, you know, and he can encourage you how to steer yourself right next time. You know what I mean? Be honest with your coach and with your team and be quite transparent. It comes back, and especially in times like this when you do need a rest and you're not feeling fatigued, even your promoter or your manager, just be honest with them and it comes back. Yeah, honesty is a big part of it too. There's a few instances where I have overtrained like this, like I say, back in the past, fighting at 8 stone 10. I was never an 8 stone 10 fighter. Just thought the lighter the better because the coach I was with at the time, they were new to professional boxing. They were going from that amateur thing where the lighter the better sometimes, but as an amateur fighter you're fighting 3 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 2 minutes, it's not really easy. But then as a professional you're fighting 12 3-minute rounds and getting the lighter the better. You got the better than me, and that's one that I always regret, starting too light, you know. And I went into fights like this and you feel like what it feels like to fight overtrained. You're better going. When I met Georgie Vaughan said you're better going in a fight undertrained than overtrained, and he didn't have to tell me because he's already experienced it, but it was great advice, and from then on I tried my best not to go down that route. And what it feels like to fight when you're overtrained is, it's hard to explain, but it's like you're underwater. You can't do things that you want to do. You're second to the punch. You see the punches coming, but you can't react like you want to react, which is very odd, very strange. You want to catch him, and you've let go, and it's just like the reactions aren't there. It's very odd, and what happens also is you've picked up a few injuries at this point because you're now at the end of the camp, and it can be quite tough, and no matter what you do to drag yourself out of it, no motivation can get you there on the night. You're overdone, and that's just it. You're overcooked, and that's just the way it is. Like, your timing's off, you can't find the next gear, you can't push. Even going into camps like now, when I understand how it works, I've done a protocol in John Moores University with Carl Evans where it comes to the end of the camp and we start our VO2 max testing on the machine at the start of camp. And then at the end of camp we do the same thing, and it's all part of a case study. And at the end of camp I said, Carl, I'm sorry, I can't do this because I just know I'm there, I'm on the edge, I'm on tipping point. If I do this once a day, I'm letting myself and go all out, I'm going over. And he said, you just got to stop, that's just the way it is, you've got to stop. It's good that you're saying this, although the case study didn't get completed to see how much fitness it gained in VO2 lung capacity I gained over that camp. I just had to call it there and cut back, and because I knew what was coming if it didn't, and the consequences can be severe, you know, easily injured. When I got a broken jaw in a fight one time, I asked myself, was that my bone density because I was so fatigued at the weight? Yeah, I don't know, you never know, but you ask yourself these questions because you just can't get yourself up for it. So yeah, take my advice, young fighters, don't go down too low in the weight. That'll cause this overtraining, under resting. Make sure you get adequate rest every week before and after your sessions, nutrition, sleep. I know people bang on about it, but it's so important because as a youngster I used to say, oh yeah, whatever, I feel great, but the truth is, it's a performance enhancer. Performance enhancers, now it's not cheating, but it's illegal. Cheating. Sleep is a performance enhancer, you know. Nutrition is a performance enhancer, and all these little things, they add up and you get a good few percent out of yourself if you do it properly. So yeah, that's my advice on overtraining or under-resting. So thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the content. Leave in the comments what you would like me to speak about in future videos, and what I've learned and through professional boxing and fighting for world titles and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and leave a comment. Have a nice night, family.